Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you guys don't know me, my name is Andy, and this channel I like to talk to you guys about things that newbie Airbnb hosts should all know. Today I like to share 5 reasons why I like to host on Airbnb. Before we get there, I want to tell you guys how I got into hosting Airbnb. And this technically didn't happen by accident. It kind of did happen by accident, but at the same time it was somewhat planned. And I was actually at my home in New York. I own a property there that I do a house hack. Like, if you guys don't know what that is when you buy, for example, a 2-family property and you potentially live on one side and you have a tenant on the other side that helps pay your mortgage. So during my house hack, because I'm always trying to figure out ways to make additional money, I thought, well, I'm gonna be away for a couple weeks, so might as well put my unit to use. Potentially pay for that vacation that I'm taking, or at least offset some of the costs. Same way that I'm offsetting some of my mortgage costs with my other tenant on the other side. And this basically just happened by accident because I wasn't expecting it to really get rented. I had hopes that it did, but I really wasn't expecting any results. And literally that first week when I put my unit on the market on Airbnb, at least, I got $1,000 worth of bookings between 3 bookings. So I wasn't shocked. I mean, $1,000? I made $1,000 in 1 week. I mean, my tenant pays me $1,500, and that's for the whole entire month. So this has opened a world of opportunity and a world of possibilities for me, and that's why I decided to continue renting on Airbnb. But back to this, when I came back, I was actually searching for an apartment for me to live in. So therefore, what I was looking for was potentially another purchase, another house to buy, or just rent something else. Because at the end of the day, if I can make $1,000 per week on my unit, $4,000 per month, I can get an apartment that pays $1,500 and just cash in the difference. And that's my mindset. That's what I thought. I ended up buying another property and moving into that property and leaving this apartment as a short-term rental. And so far, it's been a short-term rental since. I still have it today, and that unit alone nets me close to about $3,500 per month, just that one unit. So a regular tenant in that particular apartment is a 2-bedroom apartment. That particular unit, I can get probably anywhere between $1,800 to $1,900 per month. Whereas on Airbnb, that apartment nets me $3,500 after all of my expenses. So I'm getting a lot more money than potentially renting it as a long-term lease. That's what got me hooked on Airbnb. But now let me show you guys why I actually stood on Airbnb. And obviously number 1 was because I made a little bit more money than I could have made potentially renting my apartments or any of my apartments in a long-term lease. So reason number 2. So I've seen times where landlords, they rent the apartment out for $1,000 a month, and when that tenant moves out, they made $12,000 for the year in gross. However, now they have to reinvest another $15,000 to make this apartment livable again. So essentially, they lost money on this unit. They didn't make any money because if they have to invest $15,000 to repair the apartment from a bad tenant that damaged the kitchen cabinets and just did a mess in the apartment, and to re-rent it to someone else, why go through that hassle? I can tell you hundreds of stories about tenants that I've met and apartments that I've seen, and stories that I've heard about different agents or different landlords who've told me that tenants, they left their apartment completely trashed. I've seen these apartments. They're really bad. Kitchen cabinets are disgusting. Everything is just completely destroyed. It's kind of like tenants, they didn't really care about the apartment. I think that I could potentially maintain my home longer, making a little bit more money on Airbnb than I can getting a regular long-term tenant and risking just getting a destroyed apartment 1 year later. Even if you get a really nice tenant and that tenant tends to cook a lot, those cabinets and that kitchen is not going to look very presentable when you re-rent that apartment. This brings me to reason number 3. Reason number 3 why I like to host on Airbnb rather than a long-term tenant is simply because I can keep my property in sellable condition. So this comes back to this whole trashed apartment that the tenants have, right? At the end of the day, if I want to sell my house 2-3 years down the line, I won't have to come and make all these major repairs on this apartment. I will basically keep a sellable condition property. I mean, my home is always going to be in sellable condition and always going to be in mint condition to potentially show it to buyers. So that's one of the other reasons why I like to host on Airbnb. Reason number 4, this is all about evictions. If you've ever gone through an eviction, is hell. It is terrible. You don't want to ever have to go through an eviction process. Evicting a tenant is never fun. Is never easy. Even if you get an attorney involved, it's time consuming, and you tend to lose a lot of money in the process. So In Airbnb, at least you don't have to evict tenants because these people, they come and they go. They're transient. So you can have a reservation for a week. That person, after a week, they're gone. You don't have to ever worry about it, having to evict someone. And reason number 5. The 5th reason why I like to host on Airbnb and why I continue to host on Airbnb is because I get to meet people that I would have never met otherwise. I like to network with people. I like to meet different personalities, and this allows me to do that. Airbnb, you tend to meet people from all over the world. So these are my 5 reasons why I continue to host on Airbnb, but I'm also sharing with you guys a video of why I don't like to host on Airbnb and some of the pitfalls of hosting Airbnb. I think it's important for all new hosts that are thinking about joining the platform. I think it's important that you guys know and understand both sides and why you should, or maybe why you should not, and maybe why one option is better than the other. Feel free to subscribe, give me the thumbs up if you like this video, and look out for that next video. It's going to be coming up shortly. You'll see it soon. By the way, I hope that you guys do subscribe to this channel. I will continue to bring more content like this, and I will continue showing newbie hosts and newbie people who are trying to get on into the short-term rental environment, tell you some of the things that you should, maybe should not do, and things that I've experienced personally that maybe you may not even want to go through.